Hey, what's up? Brother Stone here. So today we're doing some gesture sketching. If you're not familiar with this exercise, I do these videos every once in a while. You can find more of them on this channel if you search for gesture sketching. But the point is basically to sketch a pose from reference with a time limit, so that you are forced to only draw the basics, like focus on the basics, the most important stuff, meaning the big gesture lines that go through the body and that give like energy and like weight to your poses. For example, if you have trouble with poses where your characters always look very stiff, this is the best possible thing that you can practice, in my opinion. So on the left here you have the reference image, and this is all in real time, so you can draw along. I highly recommend it. The timer that I always use is 3 minutes per pose, which is actually very long for this type of exercise, but it's just the one that I'm comfortable with. I guess I'm just slow with this type of stuff. But yeah, like in the meantime, I'm just going to ramble, talk about some random stuff. And if you saw the title of this video, 10 years, it's in reference to the fact that just a couple days ago, last Saturday, it was exactly 10 years since I created this channel, this YouTube channel. On August 15th, 2010, I started this whole thing. And I don't know, like it's been a sort of like bittersweet realization, I guess, that it's been so long. I mean, I haven't been making videos, or I haven't even been drawing for like 10 years straight. I wish I had been, like I wish I could have had the discipline back then to do it like completely regularly. Like at first I started uploading maybe once a month or something, and then I think I took like several years where I barely drew or barely uploaded at all. Like I was too busy playing video games, unfortunately. And then maybe like 5 or 6 years ago I started actually doing it like regularly, like weekly uploading. But I guess in total it is still a lot of years invested into this channel, and like by YouTube standards it is a tiny channel. There's something like 40,000 subscribers, but that's built up over those 10 years. Like 90% of that amount is just dead accounts at this point, I'm pretty sure. Like I get between 1,000 and 2,000 views per video in general, and I really wish there was a way to purge the subscriber number somehow to reflect the number of views. Like I would be much more comfortable with it that way. And I'm talking about those numbers now because it's been 10 years and I'm trying to reflect a little bit on this channel. But otherwise, I never really think about those numbers at all. Like I'm really amazed that I get over 1,000 views still. Like if I think of what 1,000 people looks like in real life, like actual real people, it's it's an insane amount. Like it's a huge crowd. Like imagine if you were like a band and each week you get to play in front of a crowd of 1,000 people. Like that's insane. So just thinking about it like that, like I'm really grateful that anyone would watch this stuff. I say it at the end of every video, like thanks for watching, but I really mean it. Like I mean that literally, like thank you for watching. But like these last couple months I've talked about how I've been really like I've been hating a lot of the stuff that I draw for some reason. And actually I should say hating the stuff that I draw for myself, like the stuff, the ideas that come out of my head, because I guess like kind of paradoxically I've been pretty happy and pretty inspired with the stuff that I draw for work, like freelance work, stuff that is based on other people's ideas. Like when I'm interpreting other people's concepts, I don't really feel that doubt at all, which is I don't know, like I have no idea what that means. But yeah, that self-doubt about my own ideas and stuff, it's a really like a really insidious thing. Like it creeps into everything else in your life. Or usually for me it doesn't. Like usually I don't get into really deep slumps like this. Like I think I've just felt lack of inspiration so many times before that by now I know that if I just keep drawing it goes away. So I don't really usually let it affect me. And this time I've done the same thing, like I've just kept drawing, kept going, but I don't know, like it doesn't seem to go away. And I was planning different things, like testing different ideas of stuff that I would like to draw for this 10-year thing, this 10-year video. I had been thinking about it for months. I was trying to write like short couple-page comic ideas, for example, on that theme of 10 years, like the theme of a decade. I started sketching some ideas for prints as well. I thought a new print would be a nice way to celebrate, maybe. And last week I was trying to finish all of that stuff for Sunday for the video, and I just ended up like trashing everything. It all just felt bad, and it all looked bad to me. And now as I'm recording this, it's Monday. I still haven't managed to draw anything for the video, and I thought let's just do a gesture sketching session, because nothing that is coming out of my brain right now seems worth putting in a video, so I might as well just draw stuff from references. And when I say that self-doubt creeps into everything, like I said, I never even think about stuff like subscribers and viewers and all of that stuff, like those numbers on YouTube. I just enjoy making videos. Honestly, I think that I would make them even if nobody was watching, because I think that time-lapse art is just like interesting and fun to look at. But now suddenly, when I'm trying to think of stuff to do for this 10 years video, I'm comparing my channel to others, and I think about how little I've achieved on YouTube over 10 years. Like I see new art channels being made every day that pass my numbers in just a couple of months, and like they completely deserve it. Like the art content in general on YouTube is actually amazing. Like some of the most entertaining and talented people in all of YouTube, I think. But I'm trying to figure out what to draw for this video, and having all of these thoughts about other channels, and all I can think about is like how ridiculous it is that I would even want to celebrate those 10 years. Like no one cares. Like thinking that by any standards the channel is just a failure, just forget it. I'm sure you know the kind of thoughts I'm talking about. I think everyone has them at some point. I don't think it's anything serious, but they just like those thoughts. They stop you from doing things. It's like you're overthinking, and your mind just becomes your worst enemy. Like it's trying to discourage you from accomplishing anything. And I'm sure eventually it will go away. Like those thoughts will disappear. Like it's not going to stop me from drawing, but. Like I tend to treat these videos and this channel more like a diary than anything else at this point. So I'm not going to like I don't want to pretend that it's all good and happy, fun times all the time. Like I'll just whine and complain about it for a little longer, and then we'll be back to normal eventually. So hopefully you can just bear with the whiny Baston for a couple more videos. I've also been trying to think about what I learned in these last 10 years, and if there's anything, like any advice that I could give in my old age of 35, as the wise old man that I've now become. Like what lessons can I offer in my infinite wisdom. And I've been thinking about technical stuff, like technique in drawing, and any points I could make about that. But let's be honest, I don't know anything about technique. And honestly, I don't think, like in the creative process, at the end of the day, I don't think it's the most important part, technique. I know that at least for myself, when I really boil it down to like what keeps me drawing, like to that simple question, the thing that helps me the most is trying to stay in touch with the like the motivation that made you want to draw in the first place, like as a child or when you were younger or whenever you started drawing. And I've talked about this before, and I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else, but there is something so like so pure and so strong about that initial spark that you get in your mind as a child when you realize that you can create your own things on a blank page. And it usually starts by seeing someone else's creation, whether it's like an animation, movie, comic, whatever. Like maybe you saw Goku in Dragon Ball throwing a Kamehameha for the first time, or you see some robot transforming, or something that just makes you realize that someone actually drew that, and it just blows your mind, and you want to do it too. And I've started to think that this initial spark, it's kind of like smells. Like, you know how sometimes you catch a very specific smell somewhere, and it instantly sends you back to a place and time in the past. Like it calls back a memory, but extremely vividly, and you feel the way you felt back then just because of that smell. I think we have a very similar relationship with inspiration and ideas, like creations that we associate with those times as a kid when you felt like you just had to draw that thing that you just saw. And I've been thinking about this a lot in relation to the world building that I've been doing recently, because whenever I'm thinking about backstories for characters, for example, I really get back into that childlike state. Like I literally feel like I'm playing with my action figures. And back then I was thinking like, okay, this action figure is the champion of the universe, but this one is his rival, and they're fighting for whatever, like the ultimate weapon, like whatever story you come up with. And as a kid, you don't see anything wrong with that, because there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong about that. It's your imagination really like expressing itself in its purest form. Like you don't even think twice. If someone asks you about your action figures as a kid, you will explain to them everything in every little detail, like how this guy has a laser cannon in his arm and he's the only one who can defeat this other guy or something. Like as kids, we are actually proud of our imagination. Like any stories that we can come up with, we just want to share them. But for whatever reason, when we grow up, we are taught that those kind of like kids games and kids thoughts are silly and they're stupid, and you should just keep that to yourself. Like you cannot just let your imagination like flow openly like that. And I think by doing that, we are slowly separated from that very pure form of imagination, like that kind of imagination that is not ashamed of any ideas. And I've been thinking about that and the idea of shame a lot, because, for example, when I have to talk about the backstory of some character in a video, and I have to say something like, okay, this character is the daughter of some of a space king who's also like half octopus god creature or anything like that, I still cringe a little bit inside when I'm saying that, like when I'm saying those things out loud, because I'm an adult and I've been taught that I should just hide my imagination. And that thing is for kids, and I'm not a kid anymore. But really, that thing, like that free flow imagination, is the most important part of the creative process. And the more in touch you are with that, like that spark of imagination that sent you down this whole road of like art and drawing and all this stuff as a kid, the more in touch you are with that, the more clearly you can remember that thing, the less ashamed you can be of your ideas. And the better those ideas are going to be, I think. So, like, revisiting those things, whether it's like movies or comics or animation or anything, it's like those smells that send you back in time. You need those to stay connected to that inner child, because pretty much everything in the world, like the grown-up world, is just designed to suppress that child as much as possible. And it's the same reason why recently I've been saying that when I'm designing a character, I'm asking myself, as a child, would I want an action figure of this character? Like, would I want a toy of this character? And it sounds like a pretty stupid question, but it's basically asking, like, is there something in this character design that appeals to a completely free imagination, like an unashamed imagination? I don't know, but yeah, I guess that's my my main takeaway from these past 10 years. Like my number one advice. Like, find the art that sort of works as a trigger for you, that has the clearest association with that feeling that you had as a kid, and try not to forget that feeling, because that thing is just constantly fading away as you grow up. So now let's talk about some plans for the channel for the near future. So in my 2020 art resolutions video, I said that I would really like to print something this year, whether it's a sketchbook, art book, whatever. The current world building project was supposed to be the content for that sketchbook. The problem is that this world building thing has been moving pretty slowly. Like in the past, when I was still teaching, I did most of the summer of world building during the summer holidays, like the school holidays, and I was able to get a lot more done. Now that I'm doing freelance, my schedule is basically like doing all the freelance stuff during weekdays, and the YouTube stuff on the weekends only, like drawing on Saturday and then recording, editing, rendering, and all that stuff on Sunday. I cannot just draw my own stuff every day anymore, so that's why it's been much slower. So I don't think I'll have enough stuff for a sketchbook or art book by the end of the year, to be honest. And like even if I did, now that I've done some research on like printers here locally in Helsinki, I don't know if it's doable for me, just as like as an individual, independently like printing small quantities of a book full of images specifically, not just text. I don't know. But I'll keep looking for options. But yeah, in the bigger scheme of things, I'm really happy that the freelance stuff has been working out. I think I've been pretty lucky with that. And like to be honest, whenever I'm not finding any art related work, like freelance work, I've started doing some translation work again. I think I mentioned that a while ago that I used to do that while teaching as like a side job. If you're bilingual and you have the required training, it's pretty easy, like gig work, like filler work. So I've been filling the gaps between art stuff with that. But yeah, that doesn't leave much time for my personal stuff, like personal art, or for any social life at all. But fortunately, I'm not a social person anyway. But yeah, like if the plan, like if the end goal was to go first from teaching to freelance, and then second step, eventually try to go from freelance to making a living with my own stuff, like my own ideas, like not drawing for other people. I don't currently see any possible path to that second step, which is it's not a bad problem to have at all. Like I'm already happy that I somehow managed the first step, and I'm happier than I was in my previous job. But if we're talking like strictly about maximizing happiness, like if you treat life like a video game, like I'm min-maxing happiness, I'm gonna have to do some thinking and planning, and maybe that involves some big changes when it comes to the stuff that I do on YouTube. Like just as an example of the stuff that I'm thinking about, the channel itself has not been growing much, but one thing that has been steadily growing, like even though I don't put much work into it at all, is the shirt sales on my Designed by Humans page. Like I haven't added new designs in about a year, and I don't really promote it much, but like very very slowly and steadily that has been growing. So I'm thinking maybe that is one possible path to full independence. I don't know. Like maybe there's something about shirts. They just get into the real world out there, like out of this fully digital space, and that's where they spread. But yeah, I have no idea why it's been growing. So I will probably be doing some more graphic design stuff soon as well. If you're not familiar with what I did before in that style, there's a playlist on this channel called Building My Own Brand that you can check out. Like anytime I do these kind of long-term projects, like the graphic design stuff, I try to make them into a series of videos that hopefully are kind of interesting to follow. But yeah, like it doesn't matter which path I take in the end. Like I will turn it into art videos somehow. Like I've been here long enough now to know that I'm not going to stop. Like I've seen channels come and go, but this little channel, this little corner of the internet that we share, it will still be here even after 10 more years, hopefully. I might take a short break soon, just to sort of reset my mind. And honestly, just to free up my weekends as well for a little bit, like a month or something. To do what on those weekends, I have no idea. Like that is left for me to discover. Like what do real people with normal lives do on weekends? Go to the park, go canoeing. I don't know why the first image that came to my mind when I pictured a summer weekend was a family on canoes. But yeah, I cannot wait. I can't wait for my canoe trip with my imaginary family. But yeah, I think that's a good place to end. So as always, if you want to check out my art, all the links are in the description below. And I'm saying it every time, but sincerely, thanks for watching. If you would like to support this channel and help me make more videos, check out this Patreon link on screen right now or in the description below, where you can get all of my PSD files as well as real-time versions of all my videos.